Good morning. It's morning to us now in England, but if it's good afternoon, good evening to you. I just want to say hello. Let me just say hello. Bua bise. And then sometimes that's Mindi language, and I'm saying Creole. I don't know the other languages. I say Kushe Kabo. Audi. That is how we greet in Creole. The other day I was on Cleveland talking about Sierra Leone. And if you listen to it, you'll want to become a Sierra Leone. And of course, now a lot of people think about Sierra Leone like we are fighting each other all the time. No, it's just a handful of people who are bitter towards the government because they are disappointed in losing the election. But apart from that, it's just a normal the teeth and tongue, they said must jam, and that is what is going on. But on the whole, Sierra Leone is very safe. Of course, like any other country, we have been affected directly or indirectly by this COVID-19. Not that a lot of people died, but economically, we have been affected. Now, you can see I wear green, white, and blue, and that is the color of our flag. Green, white, and blue, and each one has a meaning. Each color has a meaning. But what I want to do now is to give you a brief rundown of Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone is situated on the west coast of West Africa. Oh my God, Sierra Leone has a population of less than 7 million, and they're about to do another census. I don't know when, but soon they will do another census. And in Sierra Leone, we have more women than men, like many places, especially after the war, because we had 11 years of civil war, and there are a lot of men lost their lives. So we have more women in Sierra Leone. Now, Sierra Leone has a beautiful culture. The reason why I say that, even though we are small geographically as well as in terms of population, Sierra Leone has many tribes. Now, one could say that these tribes are a problem, but no, I don't see it like that. The reason being, I am from many of these tribes. Not only that, when you examine these tribes, when you put on your glasses and you take out tribalism, what is tribalism? Tribalism, when one tribe thinks they are better than the other tribe, maybe, I don't know. But when you take the lenses out, you will notice that each and every tribe of Sierra Leone is unique. It is unique in the way they speak their languages, the way they cook their food, the way their own culture. And that is why, for me, I celebrate the uniqueness of the different tribes of Sierra Leone rather than being tribalistic. Now, over the period until the 27th, which is the day for our independence in April, I will be talking about the different cultures, I will be talking about the different practices, the different food, and the different tribes. Now, I want to talk about the Creole. The reason being, I'm very comfortable talking about the Creole. I am a Creole. The Creoles are freed slaves. They come from the Maroon. We have the Maroons, the Nova Scotians, the liberated Creoles, and so on. And they came to Sierra Leone. When they came to Sierra Leone, the chiefs that they met in Freetown, which is the capital city of Sierra Leone, were very kind enough to offer their lands and accommodated them. They welcomed them with open arms. So they settled down in the western part of Sierra Leone, Freetown, and that is the capital of Sierra Leone. And like the name suggests, Freetown, it means freed slaves. Most of them went to the peninsula of Sierra Leone and the outskirts of Sierra Leone. Peninsula villages have the names of towns in England. For instance, we have Kent. Yes, we do. We have Sussex. We do. We have Hamilton. We do. And you see, the names are similar. We have a village called Waterloo and so on, because those were the names that were given to these towns or villages by the colonial masters. So we do all have, and even inside Freetown, the main center, we have streets like Bathurst Street, Gloucester Street, like Football Street, so on and so forth. So that is how we know that we were colonized. People can easily trace that we are colonized by the white people, the British people, okay? So the free slaves settled, they were comfortable, and the dance, history says, I was not there, that they danced around the cotton tree. And the reason why the cotton tree is part of our culture, our history, is because they believe that it is situated on the center of Freetown, okay? At the center, rather. And when you look at the cotton tree, around the cotton tree, it's a very powerful tree. It's a big tree. Around the cotton tree, you have prominent buildings, such as the Law Court, such as the Parliament, and such as State House, and the first church that the freed slaves built, that is called the Maroon Church. When you go there, they're all walking distance. So that is the other beauty. When you go there in the morning, you will walk casually to all of these places and you will see what I'm saying. The Law Court, when it comes to the architecture of Sierra Leone, it was built by these freed slaves and their colonial master. You could tell that they have the English style of building as well as the Nova Scotians and the Jamaicans and everything. It is a very prominent building, a very beautiful one, and one with heritage. Now I want to talk about the buildings of the Creoles when they came. The Creoles, they speak the language called Creole. It means like it's broken English, a bit complicated. And like for instance, when I want to talk, me people that una kusha una kabo, it means a greeting, okay? If I want to say, do you want to eat? I will say, you want eat? So you see, it is similar to the English language, because remember when they were slaves, they tried to speak the English language, and that is where they got these languages from, like the Creole. When you go to Cameroon, they speak it the same way, and in Nigeria it's pidgin. So Creole, a lot of African countries would hear. They might not speak it like us, but they would hear, and even the English people, because it is similar to English. Now, when it comes to the building, these people started to build them like the concrete. They have the foundation that will be a bit elevated, and on top of the foundation, you will have wooden houses. Wooden houses. Up to now, when you go to my country, you will see these wooden houses. You will see the unique architecture. You will have a place on top of the wooden house, a window, where they said it is the Congosa window. Congosa means busybody, inquisitiveness. They call it like that because it's situated right on top of the building, and it's a small window. And they normally said before, women would not go to work, especially the Creole tribe. They said the women would be up there and be looking around what is going on, because it has a very good view up there. And also we have what we call, when you look at the architecture, we have the pantry. The pantry, when you look at the homes of the slave masters, they have the pantry there. So the architecture is a bit like the slave masters, like the European masters, things like that. It is a very unique, but the problem with it, most of the time, it has health hazards. And during the Rebel War, when the rebel went into Freetown, unfortunately, most of these houses were burned down. But we still have some of them, and some of them have been renovated, because originally these houses don't have inside toilet or flush toilet. You will build a toilet that is called the latrine in the compound, which is just like a hole. Sometimes they will build a box where people will sit down. So it is a culture that is very unique to Sierra Leone. And so that is the architecture mainly in those days. And they will have zinc houses whereby it's very hot during the day. That is why a lot of people will come outside, because the zinc and the sunshine. And that one is just zinc, okay? We call it the pan body. And they can make it so beautiful. Sometimes they will paint it and everything. Those are the two main prominent buildings, apart from the mortar, where you have the cement building, where those higher up in society will build and live in. And mostly they are up and garrets. They call it up and garret, meaning they have the first floor and the second floor, and sometimes they can go to third or fourth floor. Sometimes they can be as big as that. And so mainly that's about the building, the architecture of these slaves. Okay, you go to Freetown, it is there. And one thing, we have different villages, like I said, but we have a prominent place in Sierra Leone called the Bones Island. When you go to Sierra Leone, that is where the slaves were kept. They have the sea there. It's an island. And when the slaves go there, we have remnants of the building. I just pray and hope that they will do something more about the building, because it has a very rich heritage. So the slaves will be there. You see some remnants of the cannons, the guns, and so on, and the building itself. And that is where they were kept, and near the sea, and the ship will come and take them away. So that's another part of our rich history. And the other part of our rich history is, like I say, the peninsular villages. When you go there, you will see wells that the slaves were using, the free slaves they are using. They're very old. You can see them. The eye was opportune to see some of them. And you have a village called York Village. York Village, like all of these villages, they're very they're very important to the history of Sierra Leone. There you will have the first cemetery where a lot of these free slaves were buried, and you will see the stone and the remnant. They're all there. Before I finish this, I don't want it to be too long. I want to talk about one of the most beautiful things about Sierra Leone. We have natural beaches, such as the Lombly Beach and all this peninsula. Most of them have beaches, natural beaches. You see the sand is just white. We have black sand. We all have all sorts of sand, and they are all natural. And the water is what I want to come to. People boast of having green water, blue water, but we have a lot of them along the peninsula. You can go there and see water as green as this. So that is how blessed we are. And that is why for me, my country is not poor. I will come to that later. So for now, I don't want it to be so long. I'm going to stop here. And we have the national anthem that goes like, pam, 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 I will exalt the name of the free. I will do it with the help of the instruments the next shot. So thank you very much. Please share. Love you. Bye-bye.